I am re-recording this workshop because some of you were not able to get the video, and that was because of me. I guess I had some technical issues earlier on, and so I felt really wanted to make sure that everybody who wanted to be on the call got the opportunity to have some time with me, as well as to see the video. It looks like the video from the first session didn't happen, so I'm going to just redo it. So I might be a little bit more tired than I was before, but I've got some of the questions that people have asked and some of the comments actually from the last call as well. So I'm going to go through all of that live with you here, and it's hopefully also recording right now. So if that's the case, if you're getting this and you're watching this a little bit later, awesome. If you're here, if you're getting, I send a lot of emails out. Hopefully you can, some folks can join me live and ask me some of their questions as well. Okay, with that, let's jump right into it. And I am going to start with the screen share. And where is the screen share? There it is. Okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, so you should see on the screen, and yes, you do, you should see on your screen Unlocking Career Potential Kickoff Call for Team Beena. And so I'm going to just jump right in here. Today we're going to be talking about, we're going to do some introductions, which was essentially me starting off the call, so no more introductions. We're going to talk about an overview of the MLT program and Team Beena. And we're going to prep for some of the things that you need to know to prep for core skills. Okay, and best practices. So let's go. So here's an overview of a 2015 MLT MBA professional development. We're going to start off in March with core skills. Now, core skills is you all know about it. You're all signed up for it, so great. Then in 2 months later, we're going to talk to the Career Transition Leadership Seminar. And what that is CTLS is a great opportunity for you to really network. Core skills is about getting that exposure to different career fields and making that first impression with potential partners. CTLS is all about the internship, right? You're trying to interview for internships for pre-MBA programs, which you'll see right underneath it, and how to apply for all that. So that's what it is. It's about another opportunity for you to get in front of the partners. But the real first opportunity is at core skills. The other thing is that there's the Nishimba and the National Black MBA conferences. Those are happening in the fall as well, and that's another opportunity to get in front of partners. So how do you find out? I'm going to just go a little lower down on the page here. How do you find out about those pre-MBA internships, brand camps, consulting camps? Email. It's all about email. So I'm going to send you notifications as I find out about them. If I find out about an opportunity, I let my teams know. So I really strongly, check your emails from MLT. Very important. But check your emails from me too, because I usually highlight ones that I think will be very relevant to you. Next, you're also going to find out opportunities from MLT, the Ning, and from the LinkedIn network. Okay, so very, very important to make sure you're connected on all of those. If you haven't already connected to the Ning, to the Vimeo channel, or any of that startup stuff, be sure you do that soon, okay? Because we're starting to send out information about pre-MBA internship stuff, about opportunities, things like that. We'll start sending them out more regularly very soon. So what's going to happen at Core Skills? Remember, this is your first impression with employers. So with MLT staff and with leadership. So it's very important. It's your first impression. And if you're thinking, they're going to forget about me. They're not going to really know my name. Yes, they will. Okay, so make a positive impression. Very, very, very important. And even also important with staff and leadership. You remember, this is the first time you're going to see me too. And if you're a stellar rock star, which I know you are, then what I see is it's only going to be positive for you. Why not go kick off on the right foot and have a great career ahead of you? Don't ruin it just because of some short-sightedness, okay? So what I mean by this is bring your best game, your A game to Core Skills. So what's going to really happen at Core Skills? Well, you're going to get there on a Thursday, and then Friday's all about Target. And that's just to be expected. They're our partner, and they're their host. So they're going to spend the whole day talking about Target. Be engaged, okay? Be fully present and engaged for the Target day. So important. Target is not just about marketing. If you're not interested in marketing, there's so much more to Target. And, there's really, they do a great job. Every year it makes me want to, quit coaching and work at Target. So I strongly recommend you really listen in and bring your A game to the Target day. And I'm going to share with you some ways that you can do that coming up. There'll also be a case study, and the case study is a great opportunity to really highlight what you bring to the table, you specifically. If you think that the partners who are in the room aren't watching you, you're wrong. They are. They're looking at everything. And they're seeing, hey, who's the one who's really, being a positive leader in these groups? Who's making a good impression? They are going to be watching you from the beginning to the end of the conference. So when you first land in Minneapolis to when you get off on the airplane in your hometown, they're watching. I know that sounds very big brother, but it's true. You always are representing MLT. So make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. Partners are also going to be in the rooms, all right? They might be more casually dressed. They're going to be in the back. They're going to be watching. You may not think they are. You might forget that they're there, but they will be. So I want my team, Team Beena, to really be rock stars that you are. So go in there and deliver, right? Be on your best behavior at all times. Assume that you are being watched. I know that sounds very big brother, but it is true. It's happening all the time already. Okay, so maybe make it used to your advantage. The networking event with partner companies, it's a great opportunity. There's a networking event. You're going to be able to schmooze with your friends and catch up. Yes, but don't make that the whole time. Specifically, I want you to spend some real quality time with each of the partners. Don't, just because you might not be interested in a company, don't just totally neglect that company. Still continue to go to your top tier first, the ones that you really, really want to go to. Go to them first, make a good impression, get their business card so you can write the thank you note to follow up. But then the most important part is that you're going to want to connect with other companies that are there. Here's why, and this is one of my stealth strategies that I teach. One of my stealth strategies that I teach is because even if they may not, they currently work for, say, a company you're not interested in, people switch jobs all the time. And if you make a positive impression in one area, you send a nice thank you note, it can follow them. Maybe they go to some more industry that you're really excited. Maybe they work for Google sometime. People move around very quickly. And so you always want to use the opportunity that you have to make a positive impression. Let me give you an example of this. When I was, and also you want to just make a positive impression, but you also want to have you want to make a positive impression. I'm sorry, I just got a little distracted. You want to make a positive impression, but you also want to have you want to have some purpose behind it. You don't want to waste all of your time, right? So when you're networking, have a strategy for the networking event. Okay, go in there with your list of 5 or 6 companies that you want. Survey the room. If you don't know the companies in the beginning, we may not. get there early, look around, do a walk around before you get your food, and then look around to see which companies are there. They'll all have tabletops, and then look for them and say, okay, I want to go to XYZ company. All right, and then I'm going to go get some food. And so you're going to talk to all those people, then you're going to go and get some food, and then you're going to come back, okay? Have a strategy where you get in there and get some quality time with those networkers. I'm harping on this because it's important. Okay, and make a positive impression on them, as of course you always, I'm sure, will. Informational interviews with key companies. This is so important. Make sure your resume is up to speed and in MBA focus by Friday, by Saturday, this Saturday. It needs to be in by this Saturday because companies are going to start to pull resumes from there. Okay, so please, please, please get your resumes at least in there so that your resume is in there. No matter what it looks like, make sure it's in there. But what I would recommend is that you go through the resume guide that I've sent out a while back in that first email. Go through that, read that, and make relevant tweaks to your resume. Make sure your resume is metric focused. Okay, it has some metrics to it so that shows that you drive results. That's one tip that I think will be helpful to you. And then once you've submitted all your information and your stuff is in, then what'll happen is I will review your I will start reviewing all of your materials in order that they were received. Okay, so if you if you want feedback on your get it in. Okay. And the informational interviews with the key companies are based off the resumes. So that's why it's so important that your resume is strong. And not everybody may get an informational interview. I'm just going to put that out there. It's really based on what the company select. Okay. Okay, what will happen at Core Skills? These are just some pictures that I have here. So some pictures from the event. One of them is of the main lecture hall. So these are some of the MLTers intently listening. There's the target dog, and this is just one of the one at the bottom is a picture of them doing the case study, or at least waiting to do the case. So let's prep for core skills. So you want to complete the pre-core skills surveys. Every one in our cohort has done it, so awesome. Do your personal prep and analysis before core skills. So just go to a cafe, do some self-analysis, just, write down, think about what areas am I really interested in? Is it strategy? Is it marketing? I mean, don't have every single thing you're interested in, right? Get your top 3 that you might be interested in. I know for me, when I was about to start business school, it was about strategy, it was about marketing and brand management, and it was about healthcare. I had already done consulting, so I guess I'd already gotten that out of my system. Okay, so just make sure you kind of have that as something to work with when you go into the session, because you don't want to spread yourself too thin going to every single thing without having any direction. So just keep in mind, then you can explore all 3 and then kind of solidify on what makes sense for you. The only thing, I know some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, but you told me to go talk to everybody at that networking event. Yes, I want you to go talk to everybody, but have a purpose behind it. Okay, you're not going to go to, if you're totally never ever going to work in finance, I don't want you going talking to JP Morgan unless it's about a marketing role or a strategy role. Okay, be a little bit more, make sure you understand why you're going to go to all these folks. Okay, but don't just go to the companies you absolutely want to work for. Okay, make sure you expand your reach. That's what I meant. Okay. You're going to want to complete the assignments. Please do it before Friday. Very important. Next is to your resume and complete your resume and profile. Yes, your resume and your complete profile should be an MBA focused by Saturday. So what I mean by that is your, excuse me, is your complete profile. So there might be some things that are listed in the, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. There's going to be a couple things that you're going to want to have in your resume. Have your resume completed as I discussed, and then complete the profile. So there's a whole profile that's associated with it. Anything in MBA focus, the partners can see. Okay, so please make sure it's what you want to share. If there's information in there that you don't feel comfortable sharing, don't do it. Okay, just don't put it in there. It's up to your discretion, but make sure you try to fill out the profile as complete as possible. Okay, next is we may or may not meet before core skills based on when your order in the pipeline, okay, of getting your stuff into me on time. So if you want to meet with me before core skills, get it done tonight or tomorrow. Because if you want to meet with me, my slots are really quickly like filling up, okay? But make sure you have, no matter what, make sure your resume is in MBA focused by the 14th. I have already, and I will continue to provide feedback as people get me their information and get me their stuff, so that they can make the edits to their resume. But don't wait on me, okay? Because based on when you get it in, I may not get it, and I want to make sure you have a resume in MBA focus. Very, very important, or else you will not be getting an interview at core skills, and you want to have it. I want you to have an informational interview, okay? All right, so don't wait till the last minute. I'm saying it again, and make sure it's a strong and positive impression. Let's keep moving here. What to bring? So you're going to want to bring a portfolio, which is one of those leather bound or faux leather bound notebook with so that you can put just a portfolio. Go to any Staples and you'll find one there. Make sure you have a notepad in there so you can take some notes and some pens. Bring your MLT business cards. Make sure that you, if you don't have them already, make sure you just write to Teal and make sure you have them for arrival on, they should have already been in touch with you about it. So you should have that covered. And you'll get them at Core Skills. Extra copies of your best resume. Make sure you have at least 3 to 5 copies of your best resume. Always important to have. An official dress code will be sent, but I say always go pro. And what that means is I strongly recommend that you go on the more professional side. Ladies, guys, this means a coat, a suit jacket, and button down, a button down and a suit jacket is really good for you. Sometimes people wear ties as well. For ladies, this means, a nice sheath dress is great. Sometimes people wear suits and a business suit, that's fine too. But I would always say just really err on the side of being more professional. So if make sure you cover the cleavage, make sure your skirt length is appropriate. I'm not the only one who notices these things, okay? I'm not scoping you out, okay? It's just that these are things that the partners notice, and they tell us. And so I want to make sure that you have that inside scoop so that they're not talking about you like this, okay? So please just always go pro. And more of the official dress code will be sent out before Core Skills. What to do at Core Skills? Always make sure you are early, okay, and ready to start on time. Do not arrive late to any event. I'm going to say this again. Be early. A couple minutes early is fine. Do not arrive late. I don't want to see any of my fellows walking in late to an event. No, okay? Not acceptable, not professional, and it will be an infraction. Put away the cell phone, even if you're taking notes. And that's why I tell you to bring the portfolio. I do a lot of research on executives in my other life. And I work with a lot of executives, and they say one of the biggest issues that they have with millennials is that they are always on their phones. They're not listening to me. And even if the rationale is, well, I'm taking notes on my phone, no, they perceive that to be you texting somebody. So whether it's fair or not, I mean, hey, it is what it is. So don't put the phone away. Put it on vibrate. Make sure it's away so that nobody can hear it. You don't want their phone to go off during the event too. So make sure it's off. The sound is off. And be sure not to talk while the speaker is talking. That's another pet peeve of a lot of the executives that I've worked with in the past. They hate it. They see those people and they automatically put them on their do not call list, essentially. Watch the fidgeting too. if you're you've got a nervous tick or your feet are moving, it shows that you're really not completely focused on the person. And so watch that and stop the fidgeting and just try to be, you know, try to be calm and try to just have your hands in your, you know, just try to listen. Actually listening to the person will really help you. Okay. And minimize the movement while listening. How we're going to work together? Well, we're going to do something called designing the alliance on each of our calls together. And so that's important because it's going to really talk about how we want to work together. Now, I know that I had some technical glitches on our call today, so I do apologize for that. But you know, hey, things like that happen. And so I'm glad that a lot of you, you know, were able to write on there and support one another and say, hey guys, this is what's going on. I do appreciate that. And that's kind of how I want to work, is I want us to be a team. That's why I call us Team Beena. We can rename ourselves if we really want to, but I want to make sure that we are all working as together. I want all 50 of us, okay, to succeed. I want to see all of that you truly are. I want to see you guys rocking it, getting the jobs, really flourishing. So that's why I really am going to ask you to give me 110%. Really bring your A game when you're working with me. And I'm going to give it right back to you. I got to tell you, there are some of the fellows that I've worked with that have given me their A game, and they've seen some miraculous things. I had one fellow who, you know, he had a very humble start. Let's just say that. He had a very low score coming into core skills on his interviews. And we worked really hard together. I'm not going to take any credit for it. He did it all, okay? He took my advice and he ran with it. And I helped him with his personal branding. I helped him coach him a little bit more. And he really put forth, he took every idea and he ran with it. And I got to tell you, he went from 0 on the interview scale at core skills to literally getting an internship with P&G, which is one of the hardest internships to get. And, you know, he became one of my rock stars. And so that's what I'm telling you, is I was working with him, I was giving him advice, but he's the one who put in the effort. He's the one who did it. I just told him what to do. And I helped guide him a bit and took him aside whenever I saw things because I wanted to help. So if he hadn't put in the effort and if he wasn't making it happen, I wouldn't have done that. So that's what I'm talking about. You give me 110%, I am going to walk over hot coals for you. Okay. If you don't, I won't. That's just how I roll. Okay. So just know that. Mainly group coaching. So yeah, we're mainly going to be doing group coaching together. Of course, I'm going to fix the technology issues, but it's mainly going to be group coaching, and we're going to do some one-on-one coaching. Okay. So before CTLS, you'll all have one session with me. Okay. At least one. Some of you might have two, depending on where we fall and what the needs are and stuff like that, and my availability as well. After that, it'll be more on a case-by-case basis, but we will have more group coaching calls. Okay, some things to optimize your social media. You're going to want to optimize your social media presence. Now that you're really getting into the, you know, you're now starting to start looking for the job search. I want you to create a Google account, a Gmail account. If you don't have one, most of you do, but if you don't have one right now, create one. And I want you to try to use that one that has, you know, just your name. Mine's B. Kavalam, but you can use one that has your name, first initial, last name, or something like that. Make sure you conduct all of your professional work through that account. This is extremely important if you're in marketing. Marketers don't respect the Yahoo or the Hotmail account. They don't see that as professional at all. So make sure you want to have your personal brand be a little bit stronger, especially if you're going to be thinking about going into marketing. Add a professional picture to your account. No selfies, please. And I will share the Gravatar. I shared this on the last call. It's about Gravatars. And Gravatars are it's a free tool that you can use that you'll have the same image. It'll pull the same image and anywhere you have on social media. So for me, mine goes to my Facebook, my Google, my Gmail, a lot of my other accounts. It all has this, my LinkedIn, all have the same picture. So I recommend you use the same professional picture that is of you in either a professional in a suit or you in a professional attire, that's a professional photo. And then use that as your gravatar, and it'll go to all of your groups. Now, I know one of your colleagues, I asked one of your colleagues to look it up for me, and she did. So I'm gonna make sure we post that in the group as well so that you guys get that. Okay, so let me make sure I write that down. The gravatar link. You can also just look it up, gravatar, Gravatar. And it's supposed to be this way to connect, and it's free as well. So definitely use that. Be sure you Google your name right now. Okay, so you're watching this. I want you to go Google your name and see what is returned. You Google me too. You can see what's on my thing as well. I want you to see what's returned, because what's happening is LinkedIn is going to be coming up to the very top of your first page, and you want LinkedIn to be sparkling. Same thing with Facebook posts though. So if you post a lot of stuff to Facebook, it's going to start to come up. So you want to make sure you sanitize your profiles. Please, please, please. People are going to start to Google you as you look for your job. And if you don't think HR people are doing it, you're mistaken. They are definitely doing it. I do it. So when I did it back when it wasn't even the thing to do. I did it when I was hiring people, when I was working in brand, and even at Accenture, I was doing it. It's the thing you do. And that's how you connect with people. So please, please, please sanitize, Google your name, sanitize, make sure that first page is solid, okay? After the first page, not so much, it doesn't have to be. If you have anything, and by the way, if you have anything that is egregious, like you think, you were at a party and you got some risque pictures and you, for some reason, can't get them down, what I would recommend you do is create positive content, okay? So create more recent, positive, and better linked positive content. So you write an article for LinkedIn and it gets posted, or you write a blog post or create a blog post so you can get more posts on that first page, okay? Do whatever you need to get that first page clean and clear. Okay, Q&A, and we're gonna move to the Q&A panel, and I'm gonna go through this pretty darn quickly so that we make sure we got everything done. Let's see if there's anybody. There's 5 people watching. Hello, five of you. I will connect with you shortly. Okay. Is this going on? Okay, good. Okay, so I'm on here and I'm watching myself live. This is kind of interesting. Okay, so do you know what time, okay, there's one question on this group hangout, and I'm going to then go back to all the other questions as well. So Devin, let me just make sure I answer your question here. It says, hi, Beena, do you know what day the networking event is? Ooh, that is a great question. I think it's Friday, actually. I think it is Friday. It's either Friday or Saturday, obviously. I'm pretty sure it's Friday. Wait. It might be Saturday, actually, because then after all of the people are on campus, then I think it's Saturday. I don't know. I'll have to find out about that. I'll make sure I note that, to be honest, because I don't have the calendar yet. So I'll have to make sure I get that to you, the networking event. Hopefully you can attend the whole event, Devin and everybody. Networking event, what day? I'll find out about that. Okay, next. Okay, I'm going to go to the old screen, so you might not see me on here, but thank you guys for sticking it out with me. I do appreciate it. All right, so let's go to the other one. Where is it? Okay, so I'm going to go through the questions again just so that you have the answers. All right. Okay, I'm interested in human capital consulting. When should those interested in consulting start preparing for case interviews, and what resources would have been useful to your current and or past fellows? Okay, I think the best way to answer this, and this is from Natalia Suarez, from a human capital consulting perspective, I think the best thing is to think about what are some of the key aspects of wait, what did I say here? Hold on a second. So before you go do case interviewing and go down the path of case interview, decide if human capital consulting is of interest to you. So go in and start doing if you haven't done an informational interview, I have on my YouTube channel, I have this whole thing on how to do an informational. You can just go to what do you call it? You can go to my YouTube channel, which is how do I get my YouTube channel here? If you go to coachbeena.com, in the lower right-hand corner, you'll get all of my social media, okay? In there will be my YouTube, okay? On there, if you click on that, you'll go to my YouTube, you'll see an entire video that I did, I think it was last year, on informational interviewing. It's soup to nuts. It's everything that I teach. And so instead of me redoing it for you guys, I'm just going to send it to you guys so you have it. And it's all about what to do, how to take notes, how to find the people, all the stuff is in there. So use that, informational interviewing. And I recommend you do that. Do some informational interviewing for human capital consulting. So find some people who are already in that area and do it. Meet with them. See if it's a good fit for you. If it is, after like 4 or 5 of them, you're going to start to see some trends, okay, some commonalities in the data. And when you do, you're going to say, I either like it or I don't. And go with what your gut says. If you like it, awesome. Start doing some of the case prep. If you don't go that way, okay? You can find something else. What I find too often is that people go down the path of consulting because they think it's well paid, it's lucrative, it's what you should do, and it's not really what they want to do. Okay, so find something that you love to do, and make sure. That's why I want you to go in with eyes full open. Okay, and when should you start? So I think you should start right now with the informational interviewing. Start doing that from now through CTLS. And then after CTLS, you'll find some opportunities about human capital consulting, especially if you're going to a school that's more, if you're going to a school that has an HR function, there'll be some opportunities there. But there's going to be some consulting firms at CTLS. Okay, next one. Sorry guys, I'm getting a bit tired. I've been talking for 2 hours. So if my voice is going out, in and out, in and out. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so full-time MBA, pre-MBA internships. I did talk about this a little bit. What I was basically saying here was that you only get one time between business school and between full-time working and business school, right? There's this gap, right? It's that summer before you start business school. And whenever I talk to new MBAs, I always say, use that time for yourself, because your summer between your first and second year is an internship. And then right after that, you're going to start your job. Sometimes you're going to take a vacation or 2 after if you graduate, which would be awesome, but sometimes you won't. And so, you've been working on all cylinders for the last few months, right? You've been getting you've been GMATs, application in, getting the application reviewed, doing some interviews, and you're probably exhausted, okay? Instead of getting a full-time pre-MBA internship, which you don't really get a benefit from because you haven't actually got any learning from business school yet, right? So they're not expecting you to have any knowledge from a B school perspective. So it's kind of not to your advantage. It's basically like having a job before you go into school. If you're looking for money and that's what you're doing it for, okay. But why don't you just stay in your current role for a little longer? That could be something. I strongly recommend you guys take some time off before you start business school just to get focused. You don't want to be exhausted when you do your first couple weeks. You need some time before that first semester to give yourself that time to really rock it your first semester. It's going to be hard, okay? So you need that time, that personal time for yourself. Okay, here's what I do recommend. I do recommend that you apply for any of the brand camps, any of the consulting camps. Brand camps, there's going to be P&G, there's going to be J&J, there's going to be Kraft. Mondelez has something. I'm not sure if it's a full-fledged brand camp, but they're doing something. Let me see what else. There's going to also be I know Deloitte does one from a consulting perspective. I know A.T. Kearney does one. What else? I think Bain also does one. I'm not sure about that, not completely. And some of the other like social enterprise consulting firms do it as well. So there's a lot of opportunities for it. Human capital consulting would be part of that. Okay, just from Natalia's perspective. In terms of tech product marketing, Ashley, what I would recommend, I know Ashley was on the last call, but in case there's any tech product marketers listening to this, what I would say to you is that you want to make sure that you are, there's a different life cycle for tech product marketing. Okay, so it's probably, I mean, it's good to go to a brand camp if you're interested in it, just to get it on your belt, to get some marketing under your belt. But if you're truly, truly not interested at all in CPG, don't waste your time. Try to build connections in this San Fran area. A good person that you should talk to who will be at Core Skills is, I believe he will. I'm not gonna, don't take 100% word on that, but I believe he will, is Mark Degucci, who's our West Coast director. And he's really well connected in Silicon Valley. He is somebody who knows the industry really well. And he might be somebody who can help you. I think he's also thinking about doing some kind of webinar with new recruits as well. So he's just somebody to introduce yourself to at the event. Okay. How to best prepare for the PD conferences? Well, I heard that already. So I'm hoping that if you don't have much exposure to the industry already, what I would recommend is that you get some exposure. Start doing some informational interviews, which is why I recommend going through my either through my YouTube channel to get that free stuff, or I'll try to do another webinar at some point on informational interviewing, but it will probably not be this month. So if you want to get started, I would just go see the one that's existing out there. But what you're going to want to do is try to get as much exposure to brand to see if it's a right fit for you. Okay, that's why the informational interviews are so important. You want to interview people and find out who are already working in the field you want and see, is this right for me? Is this something that I should do or not? So that would be important. In terms of the best ways to prepare, I've already kind of talked about core skills already. But if you don't have that background or not much exposure to the industry, Charity, what I would do is we'll talk in our one-on-one about how to really tailor your personal brand. So tailor your story to how it'll work. And that's going to be very important to you. So like, how do you tailor the story so that it is something that makes sense? So for me, I'll give you my example. I went from consulting to brand to B school at Stern, and then I moved to brand. Well, how did I make that transition? I had no marketing background before that. I said I used I leveraged my technology skills, my analytical skills, but I also had to do some internships. I had to create some marketing opportunities that I could put on my resume. And so I did things like I did an externship, not an internship. I did an extern. Okay, so it's something that will, I know David, you just sent me a note now, but I think the link is go to coachbeena.com and it's going to be in the lower right-hand side. Okay, so David, if you're getting this and you want to do it right now, just go to Coach Beena, Coach, and then my name, lower right-hand corner, and there's going to be some of my social media there. Just pick the YouTube one, and then you'll go right there. So just to get back to this, there is let me think here. So the idea here is to really craft your personal brand story, Charity, and how you do that is literally through getting that story correct. So in my case, how I did it was I started by talking about how I have those analytical skills, which I learned from doing all my informationals was vital to brand management. And I can tell you as a brand manager, yes, it's critical. You have to read data all the time. And so I found that out. And then I was able to parlay that as part of my personal brand because I had from the informationals. The second thing I did was I got some marketing experience under my belt. And I did that by volunteering. I volunteered for a lot of stuff when I was in business school. One of them was I helped define the business case for a startup. I helped a game company with their startup, with their strategy, because I worked in consulting before, and I helped with their marketing strategy. That's the only way I agreed to it, was so I could be their marketing strategy intern. I helped a company that was a social, like the next, it was supposed to be a Facebook just for business school students. Didn't work out, but still, I was working on their strategy component while I was in business school. So 3 areas that I worked with. One of them was pretty big. I did a lot of work for them, and I got a lot of marketing experience on my resume for free. Yeah, it took time from my schedule, and it required me leveraging some other skills, but I got it on my resume, and that's all I really needed. So I'm just going to put that out there as some opportunities for you as well. We can talk more about that in our one-on-one. I'm going to keep moving here. Okay. And then see, what is the overlap between MLT, PD? Okay, so I'm going to make this as a general question. I'm not going to be able to talk to any of the overlap between OP, between Jumpstart and PD. It's just, I don't know enough about the other programs. So I would leverage a lot of your counterparts on this one, okay? So talk to the people in your cohort and find out more about that. That's why the Ning is there, okay? So use the Ning to answer some of these questions. Okay, we talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about all of these questions. So I'm going to go up to see if there's anybody else who has asked any questions. And okay, if you have any questions, please put it into the okay. Okay, so I think, David, I answered the question. It's David, it's on the well, let me just see where my YouTube channel is. Whoops, no, use that one. YouTube. Okay, I'm going to put this in there so you have it. Come on. Okay, public. Okay, so here's the link. Should be it. Did it not go? There you go. Share. So that's the link to my YouTube channel, so you have it. Anything else you guys have questions on? It doesn't look like it. I am going to kind of close off here. I'm kind of tired after talking for basically 3 hours after a full day. So if you have any questions or anything else, just send me a note. And thanks you guys for being here. I really, I'm gonna just check one more thing. Anybody else? Okay, guys, thanks again. If you have any questions, again, feel free to send me an email. Make sure you get those to-dos in. By 2/14, you want to make sure you get your resume, all of those extra activities, exercises done. Make sure you get your resume all great, reviewed from resume with the resume guide information, okay, into MBA Focus by the 14th, because I don't want you to miss out on those opportunities for the informational interviews. Okay, with that, goodbye, guys. Take care.